Shalom. Call Allah Yahweh Bashim Shai. First and foremost, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS that do rule well and that do teach well and that have taught me this truth. To you I say Shalom, and Shalom unto the hopeful elect. This is Brother Gabar Yalla coming back at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Lord willing, it will be edifying. So I was just watching Elder Apostle Tara's video here called Big Shirley Regrets Moving to Africa, Wants to Go Back to Racist Ass America. And that's how it is, man. Hey, America is still the place to be at, even though America is not a good place. It's not a good place in terms of it being, I'd say, morally upright and spiritually upright. And really a good environment for you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Because when you come over here, you're at the bottom, you're not at the top. But it's still better to live there than if you were to live in West Africa. And that's what Big Shirley is complaining about. Because there's a lack of resources when it comes to certain things. Really a lack of luxuries and comforts. It's really luxuries and comforts. Because that's what she's really complaining about. She doesn't have the same luxuries and comforts as she once had in America, and that's what's really cheesing her. And I found the full video too. I found the full video on this channel called Go Black to Africa. African American tells their truth about Ghana, Africa. Travelers be aware. And this is Big Shirley and her husband. And they're just explaining their experience on how it's not a good experience. It's really a culture shock. And yes, like I said, it's really about luxuries and comforts. For example, man, Ghana has frequent power outages, and they don't really have access to hot water all the time. The hot water just shuts off. Animals and bugs invade your space constantly. You wake up and then you see goats, chickens, monkeys, and certain animals running about in the streets. The infrastructure is not really on par with America's infrastructure in terms of how roads are paved. So when you're driving and it's bad weather, you get stuck in the mud. They complain about certain things like that. And also the number one thing they were complaining about is the scammers. People are always scamming you. It's very bad over there. Now I understand why they're scamming. It's because the government is not really providing the citizens with the basic needs. So that's what citizens are resorting to. But it has actually turned into a cultural thing. That's just the norm there. Everybody just scams on each other. That's messed up. And she said whenever she goes to the store and they find out that she is an American, they don't charge her the Ghanaian price. They charge her the American price. And she doesn't mind that. Like, she'll pay it because she's well off. She's not poor. Her and her husband are not poor. They'll pay it, but what she doesn't like is that they're always trying to one-up you, no matter what. No matter what. So if something is really like $400, the guy that's selling it to her for $400 would still charge her $100 more. So it would be a total of $500. And she doesn't like that because she has to always ask, like, what are you really charging me for? Why is it so high? And then she's like, I don't mind giving you that extra money, but just be upfront with me, man. Like, fuck. But I can understand that's annoying. That's annoying. But that's the curses, man. That's the curses, and that's what I get from this. I get Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and Micah 2 and 10. Arise and depart. This is not your rest. Now let me start off with this. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But Yahweh Bashim Yahushai shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. You see that? And it says among these nations, when you look at the 65th verse, but that includes your own nation, man. That includes your own nation, because you can move to a country where Jake is ruling and governing. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy for you. When you watch the video, she talks about the culture shock. Like, the food is different, the quality of food is not good. People are scamming you. She said the people there are very friendly. They're very friendly. They get along, but they know that you're foreign, so they are still going to treat you differently. And you are going to get scammed. But yeah, it's not easy living among these nations, and that includes your own nation, because Ghana, well, the West Coast is mixed with a lot of Jake, a lot of Israelites, but you also have Ham there as well. But even when you're around your own people, man, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. It can be very difficult and very tedious. And she also talks about that too. Setting up a business there is not easy either. Even though she's networked and met the right people, it's not easy working with the locals. It can be very tiresome, very tedious. Yeah, man, and annoying because of the culture and how people are always trying to one-up you. People are scamming all the time. People are not really nice when it comes to doing business, so to speak, especially if you're a foreigner. Now, let me finish this. Let me just go back to it. It says, "And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest." And that's true. You're not going to have rest. And they're well off. They're not poor. They move their whole family there. They move their kids, and they move other relatives with them. And they can afford to buy things. It's very hard to do things. And they're not resting. They're planning on moving back to America because they can just set up a business. Even though they have to put up with Esau's bullshit, they can still function and get things done correctly and make a lot of money while doing it. And this video also shows me that America is still the place to be at, man. It's still the place to be at. Even though it's not really a good place for Jake, so to speak, you can still do well over there in America. America is the place to be at. And rightfully so, because America consumes 70 to 80% of the world's resources, and they have luxuries and comforts that most of the world doesn't have. You can do anything in America. You can just get up, go to the convenience store at any time. 3 a.m., you can go to the convenience store, get yourself some food. You can go to a late night movie. And that's what they go into as well. They can't do that over there in Ghana. Can't do certain things. But America is the place to be at. Now let me get this. This is Micah chapter 2 verse 10. "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." You see that? Yeah, and you got to depart from this place. You got to depart from this world. Remember, Yahweh Bashim Yoshai is not of this world. And if you follow Yahweh Bashim Yoshai and you love him, you're not going to be of this world as well. You're going to depart. You know how you're going to depart? You're going to depart mentally and spiritually. You're going to depart. That's why it says, "Arise ye." That's right, stand up and depart, for this is not your rest. This place is not your rest. You're not going to find no ease. But that's not what Jake is doing. Jake wants to jet set and move across the world because they don't like how they're living in one part of the world. But it doesn't matter. The curses are still on you. You're not going to get any rest. So your best bet is to serve Yahweh Bashim Yavushai and really just wait for him. Wait for him. See, Jake don't want to wait to be saved. Jake wants to do it their own way. Jake wants to save themselves because that's what they're taught in the world. But that's not how it works. Because you weren't put here to have a good time. You were put here to struggle so you can make a confession onto Yahweh Bashim Yoshai, and that confession is you repenting. But Jake don't want to do that. Jake wants to do their own thing. So by default, you're going to struggle. You're going to suffer. And it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. The curses are still on you, and you're going to suffer the same exact way. And it's unfortunate, but that's how we're set up right now, and that's how it has to play out. And really, it's temporal. It's going to change. It's going to get better in the future. The future via meaning Yahweh Shai coming back and establishing the kingdom of heaven on earth. And that's something you got to wait for. But Jake don't want to wait. Matter of fact, let me get this. Matthew chapter 24, verse 36. "But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only." You see, nobody knows when the Lord is going to come back. Nobody knows. Only the Father knows. But we're real close. But Jake ain't got no time for that. Jake ain't got no time for that. Jake just wants to party and bullshit and to live good in Babylon. And if they're not living good in Babylon, they want to go across the world and do something else and live in ease. And that's not what you're supposed to be doing with your time. You're supposed to be involved with holy conversation. That holy conversation is you rehearsing the righteous acts and repenting and calling upon the Lord. If every single Israelite called upon the Lord, they turned towards the east, they put their hands up, prayed in the name of Yahweh Bashim Shai with one consent, the Lord would come back right away and deliver us out of this stupid place, this hellhole. But no, Jake ain't thinking like that. Jake is trying to escape their hell. They're trying to make heaven in hell. That's not how it works, Jake. But I just thought I'd bring this out. Precept out, man. I just thought about it. Going into salvation. Because that's what we're waiting for. And nobody knows when Yahweh Shai is going to come back. Yahweh Shai don't even know when he's going to come back. So what are you supposed to be doing, man? You're supposed to be occupying your time wisely. If you don't know the time. Jake ain't doing that, man. Jake ain't doing that. Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. Let me get this. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. You see? So yeah, and your brother is going to be very evil towards you. And that's why you're seeing a lot of scamming going on in Ghana and the West Coast. Nigeria is known for scamming too, but Ghana. But yeah, man, that's evil. You shouldn't be scamming people. And like I said, the reason why people are scamming too is because there's a lack of resources, a lack of necessities. So people resort to scamming. But over there in the West Coast, it's become the culture. Like, you know, people who are from the West Coast, they're going to scam you. That's bad. Like, that's bad. Like, if you say I'm from Nigeria or I'm from Ghana, people are now like, people are now looking at you funny too. Right? I even heard other like Ghanaians and Nigerians tell me that. They're like, yo, I don't trust certain Africans either. And the reason why, it's because now it's become the norm. It's a part of the culture just to scam people and to get over people. But then again, man, in a weird way, that's how Jake is, because Jake is a supplanter. Well, that's on the left-hand side. But yeah, man, that's how it is, man. Hey, your brother is going to be evil towards you. And that's what they're experiencing over there. They're not being treated nicely because they're foreign. Oh, you're foreign? Okay, I'm going to charge you double. Not even double, triple. You're not getting the Ghanaian price. You're getting the American price because you have money. That ain't right, man. That ain't right. But it is what it is. Let me see. So let me get this. This is Revelation chapter 18, verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Yes. And yes, the kings of the earth being these other nations, starting with their leaders, they have made millions off of America, millions of dollars. Well, really billions. And really the Rothschilds and the banking families, trillions. They live deliciously off of this whore. And they're going to lament for her, which means they're going to cry when she goes down. And how is she going to go down? By the way of thermonuclear destruction. Because America is a cash cow. And this should tell you that America is the place to be at, because you can come over here and do business. And that's why Jake wants to come back here. They don't really care if Esau is racist. It's just because now they can make money and have their little luxuries and comforts. So this shows you that America is still the place to be at. It is the place to be at, because people come here to get rich, to make money, and to live in opulence, luxury. Verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Yeah, in 1 hour, bro. That's serious. 1 hour. That's all it takes. Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk. That's right, and that's what she was really complaining about, them goodies, man. Big Shirley, man. And Big Shirley sound pretty cool. Big Shirley sound cool. She's alright. You know, she's off, but Big Shirley seemed cool by the way she was talking when you watch the full video. Nothing against Big Shirley. She's just talking. But yeah, man. That's what America has. Them goodies, them snacks. Because that's what Big Shirley wanted, them snacks. There's no snacks. There's no good food. You don't get hot water all the time. Frequent power outages. It's not easy living over here. Not easy. Now, let me finish up. And pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense, wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. That's what they have over here in America, man. Especially slaves and souls of men. And you people are the slaves. That's why you have a SIN number, a social insurance number. That's why you got a driver's license, because you're property of the state. You're really slaves. That's why you're called an employee when you go to work. An employee is a servant / slave. So a majority of you people out here, you're slaves, really. But a lot of you slaves think you're free because you can go vote, because on the weekend you can go to the club, get some ass. You can eat big burgers. You can eat tacos. You can go play sports. You can go to the arena or stadium and watch your favorite sports team. But you're really a slave. And souls of men. A lot of men over here have sold their souls. They have sold their souls over here. And that's why this place is good too. Because people have made deals with the devil. A lot of men have made deals with the devil to live good. That's another reason why America is doing good. Because they've made a covenant with death. Really the covenant with the devil. Alright, man. So verse 14, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. And that's right. All these good things that you lusted after are going to be no more when America goes down. No more. No more. Okay, Big Shirley? America's going to go down too. There's going to be no more Haagen-Dazs. There's going to be no more 7-Elevens. No more hot water. No more Uber Eats and all this stuff. It's going to go away. But that's a good wake-up call for you. I'm glad that she experienced that. That's a good wake-up call. You understand who you are as a person. Spiritually especially. For this is not your rest, and you shall find no ease among these nations, including your own. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. Till next time, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS that do rule well and that do teach well and that have taught me this truth. To you, I say Shalom, and Shalom unto the hopeful elect. Shalom.